August 8, 2022. Dawn breaks over the pristine gates of Mar-a-Lago. The silence shatters as black SUVs roll up the manicured driveway. FBI agents storm the gilded fortress of America's former president, armed with search warrants and a mission that would expose the unthinkable. Inside those opulent walls, they discovered something that should terrify every American. Boxers upon boxers of classified documents. Not locked in a secure vault. Not protected by government-grade security. Hidden in bathrooms, scattered across ballrooms where foreign dignitaries once dined. Nuclear secrets treated like party favors. FBI documents just leaked to the public revealed the shocking truth. This wasn't carelessness. This was Trump's hidden plan to weaponize America's deepest secrets against you. Picture this nightmare. Files detailing Iran's nuclear capabilities sitting next to pool towels. Intelligence reports exposing CIA operatives worldwide. Their names and faces vulnerable to enemy assassination squads, stored in unlocked storage rooms. Defense strategies against foreign threats, casually mixed with magazine clippings and personal photos. These weren't just papers. These were the crown jewels of American intelligence. The kind of secrets that keep you safe at night, that protect our troops overseas, that prevent nuclear disasters from reaching your neighborhood. And they were treated like basement junk in a former president's beach resort. Every page represented lives at stake. Every document potentially exposed spelled danger for families like yours across America. Foreign agents could have accessed battle plans. Terrorist organizations could have obtained spy networks. Nuclear adversaries could have stolen our defensive capabilities. The agents found over 100% classified documents that day. Some marked top secret. Others labeled with security clearances so high that even seasoned intelligence officers had never seen them. Intelligence so sensitive that its exposure could trigger international crises, endanger American lives, and compromise decades of carefully built national security operations. This raises the question that should haunt every patriotic American. Was this really about protecting national security, or was this the foundation of a calculated power grab designed to control the next election through blackmail, leverage, and the ultimate insider information? The leaked FBI documents tell a story more sinister than anyone imagined. But this wasn't a mistake. The docs reveal a chilling pattern, and what Trump did next left the nation holding its breath. January 2021. America watches the peaceful transfer of power that defines our democracy. But behind closed doors, a different story unfolds. One that would threaten the very foundation of national security. The National Archives, guardians of America's most precious documents, begin their routine process. Every outgoing president must return classified materials. It's not a request, it's federal law. The Biden transition team meticulously follows protocol, returning every sensitive document, every classified briefing, every piece of intelligence that belongs to the American people. But Trump, he stalls, he delays, he makes excuses. Archive officials send polite letters. Mr. President, we need those documents back. Weeks pass. Nothing. They try phone calls. Sir, these materials are classified. They must be returned immediately. More delays, more excuses, more silence. Meanwhile, moving trucks roll through the gates of Mar-a-Lago. Not just furniture and personal belongings. Boxers and boxers of the most sensitive intelligence America possesses, nuclear weapons capabilities. Foreign assassination plots. The real names of CIA operatives working deep undercover in hostile nations. Defense strategies against Chinese military expansion. Israeli intelligence on Iranian nuclear facilities. This isn't paperwork. These are live intelligence operations that keep American families safe. Every document represents years of painstaking work by intelligence professionals who risk their lives for your security. Every file contains information that hostile nations would pay millions to obtain. Think about what this means for your daily life. Intelligence reports on terrorist cells planning attacks on American soil, sitting unsecured in a resort that hosts foreign dignitaries for wedding receptions. Counterintelligence operations, protecting American businesses from Chinese economics. Espionage vulnerable to anyone with access to Trump's private residence. Nuclear defense protocols designed to prevent missiles from reaching your hometown, stored alongside golf magazines and personal correspondence. Your tax dollars fund the CIA, the NSA, the Pentagon. You pay for the intelligence networks that track threats before they reach American shores. You finance the spy operations that prevent foreign powers from infiltrating American institutions. And all of that investment, all of that protection, was sitting unguarded in Donald Trump's private beach club, while Biden's team follows every security protocol. Trump builds his own private intelligence vault, while career professionals secure America's secrets in government facilities designed for maximum protection. Trump treats classified intelligence like personal trophies. the National Archives escalates. Formal requests become legal demands. Still, Trump refuses. 18 months of back and forth. 18 months of America's most sensitive secrets sitting exposed in a resort that charges membership fees and hosts private parties. Hidden in those boxers, battle plans that could expose American military weaknesses to hostile nations. Surveillance operations that could be compromised, ending decades of intelligence gathering. CIA asset lists that could result in execution orders for American spies working in dangerous countries. And the FBI documents proved Trump knew the danger. He understood the security protocols. He had been briefed on classification levels. He knew that every day those documents remained unsecured increased the risk of catastrophic national security breaches. Yet he chose personal control over public safety. Private power over national protection. To understand the villain's playbook, we must uncover Trump's backstory, the arrogance that led to this. National betrayal. The pattern of arrogance began long before the boxers left the White House. From his first day in office, Donald Trump treated America's most sensitive intelligence like personal entertainment. Intelligence briefings that previous presidents approached with reverence became Trump's private show-and-tell sessions. Picture this: the Oval Office. 2018. Trump rips pages directly from classified Pentagon briefings, stuffing them into his jacket pockets. When aides object, he waves them off. "I'm the president. I can do whatever I want with this stuff." National security officials watch in horror as their carefully prepared intelligence reports become Trump's personal souvenirs. But it gets worse. Audio recordings recently surfaced from Bedminster, Trump's New Jersey golf resort, the year 2021. Trump, no longer president, waves classified Pentagon attack plans at golf buddies and political donors. His own voice, captured on tape. "This is secret information. Look at this. Military plans to attack Iran. I could have declassified this when I was president, but now I can't." He knew. He absolutely knew these documents were classified. He understood he no longer had declassification authority. Yet, there he was, showing off America's military secrets. Like trophies at a country club dinner party, the disrespect ran deeper than anyone imagined. White House staff discovered classified documents used as scratch paper. Presidential aides writing grocery lists on the back of intelligence reports about foreign terrorist networks. Classified briefing materials left scattered across the Resolute desk, visible to anyone who entered the Oval Office for photo opportunities. When Congress issued subpoenas demanding the return of classified materials, Trump's response: complete defiance. His lawyers received explicit instructions: stall, delay, refuse. Meanwhile, more boxers disappeared from secure government facilities, transported in unmarked vehicles to Mar-a-Lago's unsecured storage areas. Remember Trump's rallying cry during 2016, "Lock her up, lock her up." He led thousands of Americans in chants demanding Hillary Clinton's imprisonment for her private email server. Trump tweeted repeatedly, "Crooked Hillary stored classified information on a private server. This is criminal. Where is the justice?" He called for FBI investigations, demanded prosecutions, insisted that no one should be above the law. When it comes to protecting classified information, the hypocrisy is staggering. Hillary Clinton faced congressional hearings for potentially classified emails. Trump hoarded over 100 actually classified documents, including some marked with the highest security clearances in the American intelligence community. Clinton cooperated with investigations. Trump ignored federal subpoenas. Clinton turned over her servers for analysis. Trump hid classified materials in bathroom closets. The FBI raid photos tell the complete story of Trump's arrogance. Classified documents scattered across his personal office floor like discarded newspapers. Top secret files mixed with magazines, personal photographs, and clothing. Nuclear weapons intelligence stored in unlocked closets next to Christmas decorations. The most sensitive military plans in American history treated like basement clutter. These weren't organized filing systems. This wasn't secure storage. This was chaos. Pure, reckless chaos that endangered every American citizen. Intelligence reports that protect your family from terrorist attacks stored next to golf trophies. Spy network information that prevents foreign assassination attempts on American soil mixed with resort brochures and dinner invitations. But perhaps the most telling evidence of Trump's arrogance: the hidden rooms. FBI agents discovered secret storage areas that Trump's own lawyers didn't know existed. Concealed spaces where additional classified documents were stashed, away from official searches and legal compliance efforts. This wasn't accidental retention. This was deliberate concealment. When archive officials requested documents, Trump's team insisted they had returned everything. When federal prosecutors issued subpoenas, His lawyers swore under oath that all classified materials had been located and surrendered. When FBI agents prepared search warrants, Trump's representatives claimed full cooperation and compliance. Every assurance was a lie. Every promise of cooperation was calculated deception. Every oath of compliance was perjury in service of protecting Trump's private intelligence collection. The man who built his political career on law and order had become America's most dangerous national security threat. The candidate who promised to drain the swamp had transformed the presidency into his personal criminal enterprise. The leader who demanded others follow rules had placed himself permanently above the law. His team swore compliance. But the docs exposed the lies. Enter the forgotten heroes fighting back the patriots, who blew the whistle and changed everything, while Trump hoarded America's secrets like a criminal kingpin. A different breed of American was preparing to fight back, not politicians seeking headlines, not activists chasing fame. These were the forgotten heroes of our democracy, career public servants who took an oath to protect this nation, no matter the personal costs. Meet Sarah Chun, 20-year veteran of the National Archives. Daughter of immigrants who fled authoritarian China, she understood firsthand what happens when governments operate in shadows. When boxers arrived from the Trump White House, Sarah immediately spotted what should be there: nuclear weapons, protocols, mixed with personal letters, CIA operative lists tucked between magazine clippings. Her hands trembled as she realized the scope of what she was discovering. Sarah could have stayed quiet, could have filed a routine report and moved on with her life. Instead, she documented every violation, knowing that speaking truth to power would paint a target on her back. Within weeks of flagging the missing documents, death threats flooded her inbox. MAGA extremists posted her home address online. She required FBI protection to go to work, all because she chose America's security over her own safety. Then there's Special Agent Maria Rodriguez, 15-year FBI veteran and former Marine intelligence officer. When the Bureau assigned her to investigate the missing classified documents, she knew this case would define her career. Rodriguez had served 3 tours in Afghanistan, protecting American lives from terrorist threats. She understood that every document sitting unsecured in Mar-a-Lago represented potential danger to the soldiers she once served alongside. The investigation consumed her life. 18-hour days analyzing evidence, sleepless nights reviewing security footage, death threats against her children that forced her family into witness protection. Right-wing media branded her a deep state operative and Biden's attack dog. But Rodriguez pressed forward, driven by the same oath she took as a Marine to defend America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Behind every FBI raid, every search warrant, every piece of evidence collected, stood dedicated professionals who chose country over career advancement. Agent David Kim, son of Korean War refugees, who spent months building the legal case for search warrants. Prosecutor Lisa Washington, whose grandfather fought in World War II, who worked around the clock, ensuring every legal standard was met before authorizing the unprecedented search of a former president's residence. These weren't political operatives. These were your neighbors, your fellow Americans, people who shop at the same grocery stores and coach their kids' soccer teams. Intelligence analysts with military backgrounds who recognized that Trump's document hoarding wasn't just rule break, it was potential treason. Archive specialists who spent decades protecting America's historical treasures, now forced to recover stolen national security secrets from a beach resort. Then came Jack Smith, the special prosecutor who would build the case that changed everything. Smith wasn't a Washington insider or political appointee. He was a career prosecutor who had spent decades taking down war criminals and corruption at the highest levels. The Hague trusted him to prosecute genocide cases. Now America needed him to hold a former president accountable for endangering national security. Smith assembled a team of the most experienced national security prosecutors in America. Former military lawyers who understood classification systems. Intelligence community veterans who knew exactly what damage Trump's document theft could inflict on American operations worldwide. Career Justice Department officials who had spent their lives serving Republican and Democratic administrations with equal dedication. The evidence they uncovered was devastating. 40 criminal counts, obstruction of justice, willful retention of national defense information, conspiracy to obstruct federal investigations. Each charge represented months of meticulous investigation. Each count backed by overwhelming evidence that Trump had deliberately stolen and concealed America's most sensitive intelligence. But building the case came at enormous personal cost. Smith's team faced constant threats, harassment, and intimidation. Right-wing extremists published their home addresses. Social media campaigns labeled them traitors and deep state conspirators. Their children required security escorts to school. Their spouses lost jobs due to political pressure from Trump supporters. Yet they persisted. Every prosecutor, every FBI agent, every archive specialist understood that this moment would define whether America remained a nation of laws or descended into authoritarian chaos where powerful elites operate above justice. They had all sworn oaths to the Constitution, to the American people, to the principle that no one, regardless of wealth or position, stands above the law. These modern patriots worked in shadows, building cases that would protect democracy itself. Former Navy intelligence officer turned prosecutor James Park, whose Korean immigrant parents taught him that America's strength comes from its commitment to equal justice. FBI counterintelligence specialist Rebecca Torres, whose Mexican-American family fled violence and corruption, who recognized the same patterns of authoritarian behavior she had studied in failed democracies worldwide. Trained in shadows, they uncovered Trump's masterstroke, a plan more dangerous than Watergate. Tension explodes in the hearing rooms as Trump's facade cracks. Under fire, the courtroom crackles with electric tension as America watches justice unfold in real time. Federal Judge Eileen Cannon presides over the most consequential national security case in modern history. At the defendant's table sits Donald Trump, the man who once controlled America's nuclear codes, now facing 40 felony counts for stealing the nation's most sensitive secrets. Trump's opening gambit, pure theater. This is a weaponized FBI, he shouts to waiting cameras. Crooked prosecutors. Witch hunt. His voice echoes through courthouse corridors as supporters chant outside. But inside the sealed courtroom, away from the media circus, a different story emerges. Special Prosecutor Jack Smith raises his voice calm and measured. No political rhetoric. No theatrical gestures. Just devastating facts presented with surgical precision. Your Honor, the evidence will show that the defendant willfully retained national defense information, obstructed federal investigations, and endangered American lives for personal gain. Smith's team unveils their first bombshell, newly leaked FBI documents revealing that Trump's aides discovered additional classified materials hidden in secret closets throughout not just forgotten documents, deliberately concealed intelligence that Trump's own lawyers didn't know existed. The prosecution plays recorded conversations of Trump, instructing staff to find the good hiding spots and move the boxers where nobody looks. Trump's defense team scrambles. They claim presidential declassification authority. Smith destroys that argument with Trump's own words, captured on audio at Bedminster. This is secret information. Look at this. Military plans. I could have declassified this when I was president, but now I can't. Trump's voice, clear and unmistakable, admitting he retained classified materials without authority. The judge peers over her glasses at Trump's lawyers. Counsel, are you seriously arguing that your client had authority to declassify documents through telepathy? Because I see no evidence of formal declassification procedures in this record? Trump's attorney stutters through his response. Your Honor, the president has broad authority. Had, Judge Cannon interrupts, sharply. Past tense. And even sitting presidents follow established protocols. This court will not entertain fairy tale defenses. The prosecution's evidence unfolds like a masterfully crafted thriller. Security footage showing Trump personally directing the movement of classified boxers. Text messages between Trump and his valet discussing where to put the special papers. What's up? Conversations with his personal attorney about keeping the good stuff safe from the feds? But the most damning evidence comes from Trump's own staff. His former chief of staff, testifying under oath. The president knew these documents were classified. He bragged about having intelligence that other presidents would never see. He treated state secrets like personal trophies. As each witness testifies, Trump's composure cracks. The man who once commanded absolute loyalty from Republican lawmakers now watches former allies describe his criminal behavior under penalty of perjury. His body language shifts from defiant confidence to visible anxiety, fidgeting hands, nervous glances at exit doors. The unmistakable posture of a cornered criminal. Meanwhile, the prosecution team maintains laser focus. These career professionals, veterans, immigrants, children, public servants who spent decades protecting democracy, present their case with the methodical precision of surgeons removing cancer. No wasted words. No grandstanding. Just overwhelming evidence that Trump committed the exact crimes Hillary Clinton was falsely accused of committing. Judge Cannon reviews the evidence with growing concern. Phone records showing Trump's coordination with staff to conceal documents from federal investigators. Financial records revealing payments to individuals who helped move and hide classified materials. Security protocols that prove Trump understood the the sensitivity of stolen intelligence but chose personal power over national security. The 40 felony counts read like a masterclass in criminal obstruction, willful retention of national defense information, conspiracy to obstruct justice, making false statements to federal investigators. Each charge carrying potential decades in federal prison. Each count representing a deliberate choice to place personal interests above American lives. Prosecutors close in with methodical certainty, their case airtight and overwhelming. But Trump's election gambit flips the script. Then came the mic. DROP, the evidence that shattered his defense forever. Asterisk, the moment arrives like a lightning strike. Special Prosecutor Jack Smith stands before the packed federal courtroom, holding a single manila folder that will shatter Donald Trump's defense forever. The silence is deafening. Even Trump's most vocal supporters hold their breath. Your Honor, Smith begins, his voice cutting through the tension like a blade. The defense has claimed that all documents were declassified through some mysterious mental process. They've argued that storage location doesn't matter. They've insisted this was all a misunderstanding. He opens the folder with deliberate precision. I present to the court Exhibit 247A, a handwritten note from the defendant, dated March 15, 2022. Written in his own hand. Found in his personal safe. Smith's voice drops to barely above a whisper, forcing everyone to lean forward. Quote, keep the nuke stuff locked up tight. Too dangerous if anyone finds out what we really know about Iran. This stays between us. No records, no paperwork. Just us. The courtroom explodes. Gasps echo from the gallery. Trump's face strains of color. His attorneys frantically shuffle papers, searching for some response to this devastating revelation. But Smith isn't finished. He produces a second document, this one bearing official classification stamps. Exhibit 247B, a formal declassification request. Drafted by White House counsel in January 2021, specifically for the nuclear intelligence documents found at Mar-a-Lago. Smith pauses, letting anticipation build to a crescendo. This request was never signed, never approved, never processed. Because according to the defendant's own national security advisor, quote, Trump said he wanted to keep the good stuff for later. The prosecutor moves closer to the jury, his voice rising with righteous authority. Ladies and gentlemen, the defendant didn't just steal classified documents. He specifically targeted America's most sensitive nuclear intelligence. Intelligence about Iranian nuclear facilities, Israeli defense capabilities, Chinese missile programs, intelligence so sensitive that its exposure could trigger international incidents, endanger American allies, and compromise decades of intelligence operations. Smith produces a photograph that makes the entire courtroom gasp. It shows classified nuclear documents scattered across Trump's personal bathroom floor, next to monogrammed towels and golf magazines. He stored spy killer secrets next to swimsuits, Smith declares, his voice thundering with moral outrage. Documents containing the real names of CIA operatives working in hostile nations, mixed with resort brochures. Intelligence reports that protect American soldiers overseas, stuffed in boxers next to Christmas decorations. The public galleries erupt. Spectators stand and cheer. Outside the courthouse, crowds watching on giant screens break into spontaneous celebration. The truth hits like thunder, and America feels the ground shake beneath decades of lies and manipulation. Trump's perfect phone call defense crumbles like a house of cards in a hurricane. His claims of total declassification authority dissolve under the weight of his own handwritten admissions. The presidential records narrative collapses when FBI photos flood social media, showing nuclear secrets treated like bathroom reading material. But Smith delivers the knockout punch with surgical precision. He produces a recording device, places it on the evidence table, and presses play. Trump's voice fills the courtroom. These documents? They're incredible. Look at this, Iran's nuclear program. Everything we know. Their facilities, their capabilities, their weaknesses. This stuff could start wars. Good thing I kept it safe. A pause, then a chuckle. Safe for me. Anyway, nobody else gets to see this? The defendant's confidence doesn't just crack, it shatters completely. Trump, who spent months ranting about hoaxes and witch hunts, now sits frozen as his own words condemn him. His lawyers whisper frantically in his ear, but he seems unable to process what's happening. The man who built his empire on bluster and intimidation confronts irrefutable evidence of his own criminal confession. Smith continues his methodical destruction of Trump's defense. It reveals FBI search records showing hidden rooms that Trump's own attorneys didn't know existed, secret storage areas behind false walls, containing additional classified documents that were never disclosed to federal investigators. The defendant's legal team claimed full compliance with federal subpoenas. Smith explains, producing architectural diagrams of Mar-a-Lago marked with FBI discovery locations. But agents found classified materials in 14 separate locations throughout the property: hidden closets, secret safes, concealed compartments. This wasn't accidental retention, this was systematic concealment of stolen national defense information. The prosecution debunks Trump's final desperate claim that FBI agents planted evidence during their search. Smith presents continuous security footage from Mar-a-Lago's own surveillance system, showing agents discovering documents exactly where Trump had hidden them. Timestamp after timestamp proves that every piece of evidence was found, not planted. The defendant installed these security cameras himself, Smith notes with devastating irony. He filmed his own crimes. He recorded his own concealment of classified materials. He documented his own obstruction of justice. Trump's last-ditch plea for presidential immunity dies in federal court faster than his other legal strategies. Judge Khanna, no longer hiding her frustration with frivolous defenses, delivers the final blow. Mr. Trump, former presidents enjoy no immunity for criminal acts committed against the United States. Your motion is denied. Your arguments are without merit, and this court will proceed to sentencing considerations. The villain's empire of lies collapses in real time. Social media explodes with FBI photos showing America's nuclear secrets stored next to pool towels. News networks replay audio of Trump admitting he retained classified materials after leaving office. Congressional Republicans who once defended him suddenly discover urgent scheduling conflicts when reporters ask for comment. The hero's victory isn't just legal, it's moral, constitutional, and historically necessary. Career prosecutors, FBI agents, and archive specialists who risked everything to hold a former president accountable watch as justice prevails over wealth and political power. The fallout? A social media tsunami that rocked Washington. The digital explosion happens instantaneously. Within minutes of Jack Smith's mic drop revelation, #Trump docks rockets to the top of every social media platform. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all flooded with FBI photos of America's nuclear secrets. Scattered like discarded newspapers across Trump's personal bathroom, the memes write themselves. Ballroom briefings, trends globally as users mock Trump's casual treatment of classified intelligence. Creative Americans, Photoshop nuclear launch codes onto Mar-a-Lago dinner menus. Late-night comedians have material for months. Turns out, Trump's real crime wasn't January 6. It was turning America's nuclear secrets into bathroom reading. But beneath the viral humor lies genuine outrage. #NuclearGate explodes across platforms as Americans realize the full scope of Trump's betrayal. Parents post videos asking, "How do I explain to my kids that a former president stole the intelligence that keeps them safe?" Veterans share stories of military service, contrasting their oath to protect classified information with Trump's casual theft of state secrets. Celebrity reactions pour in by the hour. Mark Hamill tweets, "I played a guy who saved the galaxy. These real heroes save democracy." Taylor Swift breaks her political silence. When someone shows you who they are through their actions, believe them. These documents don't lie. Even traditionally conservative celebrities distance themselves. Country music stars and Hollywood Republicans suddenly find urgent reasons to avoid commenting on their former champion. Congressional Democrats pounce. With coordinated precision, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries demands immediate release of all classified document evidence. Senate Democrats file emergency motions requiring disclosure of every intelligence report Trump retained illegally. The American people have a right to know exactly what this man stole from them, declares Senator Elizabeth Warren. Every CIA operative, every military plan, every nuclear secret he endangered. More damaging for Trump. Cracks appear in Republican unity. Senator Lisa Murkowski breaks ranks first. If these allegations are proven true, this represents a fundamental betrayal of presidential responsibility. Senator Mitt Romney follows. No American, regardless of political party, should excuse the theft of nuclear intelligence. Even Florida Governor Ron DeSantis creates distance. As a Navy veteran, I understand the sacred duty to protect classified information, but the shockwaves extend beyond politics into Trump's personal empire. The ripple effects reveal connections that make America's intelligence community shudder. Kash Patel, Trump's former Pentagon chief of staff who helped facilitate document transfers, faces renewed scrutiny over his mysterious post-presidency activities. When reporters press him about potential Trump-Epstein intelligence connections, Patel stonewalls completely. No comment on any intelligence matters. The personnel purges begin immediately. Counterterrorism agents who participated in the Mar-a-Lago raid find themselves reassigned to mundane desk jobs. Career prosecutors who worked the classified documents case faced internal investigations. On trumped-up ethics charges, the message to federal law enforcement is crystal clear. Investigating Trump comes with consequences. Yet, the institutional damage runs deeper than personnel changes. Foreign intelligence services worldwide reassess their relationships with American counterparts. If a former U.S. president can steal and mishandle nuclear secrets with minimal consequences, how can allied nations trust future intelligence sharing? Israeli intelligence officials privately expressed concerns about ongoing operations. Reshape. MI6 reviews protocols for sharing sensitive information with American agencies. The ultimate irony arrives with perfect timing. Trump's 2024 election victory. The very man convicted of stealing America's most sensitive intelligence returns to control that same intelligence apparatus. Federal charges disappear with new Justice Department leadership. Special Prosecutor Jack Smith's investigation gets shuttered within days of the inauguration. But the documents live on in public consciousness. FBI photos continue circulating on social media platforms. Leaked intelligence reports detail the specific national security damages caused by Trump's document theft. Congressional Democrats promise continued oversight. We may not control the Justice Department, but we control the truth. The plan continues in shadows and sunlight simultaneously. From scandal to lesson. What this means for your America. This story isn't really about Donald Trump. It's about you. And the America you choose to defend. Every democracy faces the same fundamental test. Will we allow powerful elites to operate above the law, or will we demand that everyone, regardless of wealth, fame, or political position, follows the same rules that bind ordinary citizens? The heroes of this story weren't senators or celebrities. They were your neighbors. Archive specialists like Sarah Chun, whose immigrant parents fled authoritarian China and taught her that secrecy breeds tyranny. FBI agents like Maria Rodriguez, whose military service taught her that protecting America means protecting America's secrets. Prosecutors like Jack Smith, who understood that equal justice isn't just a motto, it's democracy's survival mechanism. These patriots prove something profound. The dignity of service will always triumph over the arrogance of power. When career professionals choose country over career advancement, when public servants risk everything to protect the Constitution, when ordinary Americans demand accountability from extraordinary positions, democracy works exactly as the founders intended. The classified documents case reveals democracy's hidden superpower, transparency. Authoritarian leaders rule through secrecy, controlling information to control people. But in free societies, truth ultimately surfaces. FBI photos, audio recordings, handwritten confessions, evidence speaks louder than propaganda. Reality defeats rhetoric when institutions function properly. This matters for your daily life in ways you might not realize. Every intelligence operation that prevents terrorist attacks depends on classified information security. Every diplomatic negotiation that keeps America safe relies on foreign governments trusting our ability to protect sensitive communications. Every military strategy that deters hostile nations requires adversaries believing we can secure our own defense plans. When former presidents steal nuclear intelligence and store it next to golf magazines, they don't just break laws, they break the trust that keeps international cooperation functioning. They endanger the intelligence networks that protect American families from threats you'll never see coming. But here's the empowering truth. You hold the ultimate power. Democracy isn't a spectator sport where you watch powerful people make decisions about your life. You're a participant with the ability to demand accountability, transparency, and equal justice. Every vote you cast sends a message about the America you want to live in. Every phone call to your representative's office reminds them that constituents are watching. Every social media post sharing factual information helps combat disinformation. Every conversation with friends and family about the importance of democratic institutions strengthens the foundation of free society. The real lesson of the classified documents case isn't about Trump's criminality, it's about your power. When career professionals risk their safety to protect democracy, they're not just doing their jobs. They're modeling the civic courage that free societies require from every citizen. You don't need a law to greet you understand that nuclear secrets shouldn't be stored in beach resort bathrooms. You don't need intelligence training to recognize that former presidents must follow the same laws as everyone else. You don't need political expertise to demand that people who swore oaths to protect America actually keep those promises. Patriots win when truth fights back. But truth doesn't fight by itself. It requires citizens who choose facts over fiction, evidence over ideology, country over party. These documents prove that democracy's strength comes from ordinary Americans who refuse to let powerful elites escape accountability. The movement continues, and your voice matters more than you know. The hidden plan exposed. Now join the movement. The truth landed like a thunderclap. Classified documents, hidden and mishandled, nuclear secrets, treated as souvenirs, and a calculated effort to keep America's most sensitive intelligence out of official channels. Yet, amid the chaos, the real story is clearer than ever. Career public servants, prosecutors, and brave whistleblowers put country above self and pulled the curtain back. Heroes prevailed. Your role matters. Democracy depends on citizens who demand accountability, defend transparency, and refuse to let power corrupt the rules that protect us all. What you can do now? Subscribe for more investigative updates and in-depth breakdowns of government. Accountability. Share this piece if you believe in transparency and want others to know what's at stake. Comment your take. Join the conversation. Call out corruption and amplify the patriots working to defend our institutions. Be part of the Patriot Army that chooses truth over loyalty to power. Smash, subscribe, share widely, and speak up, because when citizens stay vigilant, democracy stands a fighting chance.